going on, everybody? Welcome back to Jumbled, your favorite podcast about nothing. I'm Zach.
I'm Johnny, and today we finally managed to do it, but we have Jer back on the podcast.
There he is.
Zach, insert spooky music now.
Hi, guys.
Spooky music. What's going on, Jer? How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm eating a
Stuffing
cheeseburger.
his fat face full of a cheeseburger. He had two of them on that plate. Zach's
Hey,
weight
man.
loss competition, not going well. Luckily for him, I'm not coming to Kansas City next month, but I will be there in March, so you better watch out.
Fair.
So there's still time. Jared, do you know what Zach and I's deal is?
No, I have no idea.
For every pound that he loses, I will give him $1. There's one, right? But if you got to 20, I'd give you $20. Like it was like,
Honestly, there's not that much in it for me.
It really isn't, but
no way, $1 you could like lose like $50. Okay, okay, let's talk about this. What is
I
it gonna
could not
take?
lose 50. I could not lose 50 pounds.
So you want to do $10 a pound?
Johnny, I don't care. I'm not gonna. I probably won't do it anyway.
All right. Anyways,
Because I like my food.
the punishment was if he gained weight, he had to spend 2 minutes wrestling with me.
Yeah. So
that's severely unbalanced. That like $1 for
it's
2 minutes
severely
wrestling.
That's exactly what I said at the beginning. But Johnny was unwavering in his little rules that he set up. So really,
You have
all
no
I've been
proof
doing,
of that. That is straight lies.
All I've been doing is
There-
mentally preparing to get completely demolished because there's no hope for me. And here's the thing. Even if I lost weight and then gained it back, Johnny would still count. It's not even a net thing. He's just saying for every pound you gain between weeks. So if I would have lost 10 pounds in 1 week and then gained 5 of them back, I still have. I'm not
That's
at
10
a
minutes
negative
with me.
5. That's just 10 minutes.
So he just is looking for an excuse to get on you. It's
Basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, that's it.
Welcome to Jared's life for his entire life.
Oh man, I've learned such good self-defense. That's
Hey,
it. Gives,
Finger in the bum. That's how you do it.
it gives me confidence in life because I was like, if I could live through John, I can live through anything.
You're welcome. All right. So let's get back on topic. We are 45 minutes late, and we've spent the opening part of the podcast talking about completely random shit.
Yeah.
We brought Jer back on for Conspiracy Series. This is episode 3. It's been far too long, but we had a bunch of scheduling challenges.
Yeah.
So we're glad you're here. There's a lot that's been going on, a lot that has happened in, the last 6 months, 7 months since we did this. And I'm sure you have some things to talk about. But I think what Zach and I want to start with is Jeffrey Epstein. And I want to hear your take on this. And I guess some of the conspiracies have gotten out, but what I've struggled with are people that say this is what happened, but no support behind it. It's just like regurgitating. So what do you think really happened and why?
Well, I mean, I'll start with one thing. Like, even go back to the term conspiracy theory. That was a term that was started when they wanted to start to criticize people that were critically thinking. Like, it goes back to the 60s. And now you're seeing that the reason that was pushed so hard is because they do have a lot of shit to hide. And Jeffrey Epstein's one of those things. But the thing with him, I mean, don't get me wrong. Jeffrey Epstein bust is a huge thing. But it's like the tip of the iceberg. There's still a lot of things that have to happen after him. And he's connected to so many people. And it's like, how many are they going to throw to the wolves to try to save the rest? Or are they actually going to go for them all? Because if they don't go for them all, what's the point? Like, you're just going to get more of the same. It's like it's time to just unravel it all. So for me, I'm just waiting to see. Like, I'm glad the Jeffrey Epstein thing happened. I don't think him being found dead really matters because of the evidence that they're getting from raiding his home and his island are going to speak much louder than any testimony he would have given, which he would have lied anyways. It doesn't really stop them from going through his little black book. And I think that they know how deep this goes. It's just it's whether or not and when it'll come out and how it'll all tie into everything else. Because at the same time, Jeffrey Epstein's so closely connected to the Clintons, and at the same time, the Clintons are being looked at because of the FISA-gate thing, because of the Uranium One deal, and then you've also got Hillary Clinton's right-hand woman, Huma Abedin's husband, got out of jail for the pedophilia charge, or the charge that he was sexting that 15-year-old girl. And his laptop that they confiscated got introduced into the NXVM case, which is another sex cult case. So there's all these connecting dots between all these things where you can start to see these players come out. And you saw Ed Buck, if anyone doesn't know, Ed Buck, the billionaire that used to donate to the Democratic Party, just got arrested, and his bail got set at $4 million. And if you go and look at his court video, he looks absolutely possessed, insane, demonic looking. Like, if you even just look it up now, he just looks sick. So he was giving gay black men heroin and watching them slowly die as they OD. And God knows what else he was doing to them. But there's all these stories coming out about him. There's stories coming out about Epstein from the survivors of his abuse, which are just awful. One woman swam through shark infested waters to try to get away from his island. And it's like we're at a time where it's like, honestly, just it's time to just wait and see like how this unfolds, because this is going to take time as it goes through courts. They're going through it through due process, and we'll see how much they actually expose, and then we'll really see what's true and what's not, what's conspiracy theory and what's not. But the more this stuff goes on, the more it's looking like, the pieces are kind of coming together and coming out as time goes on anyways.
So who do you think would be immediately connected with Epstein? Let's just focus on that part because it's, I guess, the most understood at this point, that level. And what evidence have they been finding in his house that you think is they're, putting these things together?
Like, what do I speculate they found, or what have they said they found?
Both. Let's start with what they found and then what you think they're finding.
I don't think they've released any evidence of what they've found other than the stuff they found when they raided his mansion, which were they said there was DVDs, and they were obviously a whole bunch of different people on them having sex with his underage, sex slaves, pretty much, the ones that he groomed. And God knows what else they found. And that's what they're telling you they found. God knows what else there is that they don't show. And I'd imagine, again, the question of, what do I think they have? I think they have everything. I think they have all the data. I think they have all the voice. I think they have everything. Even if it wasn't kept on a hard drive copy, the NSA can tap anything they want and have been recording. And that's not a conspiracy theory. That's they've openly said they have servers that log everyone's data. They get it from Facebook, they get it from the CIA. It's all the data. There's no privacy anymore, not actually. So I think they have everything. They could pop this open right now if they wanted to, but that's the thing that everyone, I think, is waiting for, or they're just doing it slow because they don't want to just turn the world upside down with the info. But I think they underestimate how adaptable people are, and how this is really not that far of a stretch when you look at them.
A pretty popular theory right now is that he was killed, and people have been using the term Clinton-sided. I've used that term. I think it's hilarious, but tragic.
Yeah,
but do you think
it's not that tragic? He's a pedophile.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
Fuck him.
You're not wrong. Yeah, I agree. All right, I changed my opinion. Tragic, I guess, from the sense of the Clintons' name, but you could make the same argument. So, I retract my statement. But stand corrected, and I accept that. So now you just completely blew my fucking train of thought.
I'm sorry, dude.
Okay, here we go. I got it.
I apologize for cutting in on you. Sorry.
So if he knows he obviously knows all this evidence is in his place, and he knows what that means. So do you think that he legitimately killed himself because he was worried about repercussions? Or do you think that he was, in fact, air quotes, Clinton-sided? And why is it always the Clintons? And if it's all these other people are connected to it, That's a bunch of questions. So
Bill's 23 trips on the old Lolita Express may have something to do with it. Like, I think he was one of his best customers. So that might be it. And just also because he was as far as I know, Epstein was a huge donor to the Clintons. Mm-hmm. Who offed him? Probably all of them want him dead. How did it happen? I mean, these people have been protected for a very long time. They have people everywhere, including prisons. And I don't think it'd be that difficult to organize him being killed. I don't know whether he was or wasn't. Like, when I think it was William Barr did say that what he looked at, it didn't look suspicious. But, I mean, of course they're going to say that, or else they'd have to kind of divulge more. But
yeah,
the coincidence...
there were red flags though. Like, I think part of the, there was like a period of time, like multiple hours or something like that, where he was left alone or not checked on,
and the cameras were off, and he had just come off suicide watch. Yeah, it reeks to high hell. But I mean, like, is really anyone that surprised? It's.
I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't matter though.
It really doesn't. That's the other thing, and that's kind of what I said earlier. It's like, yeah, you killed him, or whoever killed him, you did. But I mean, what did you really stop? His testimony, again, he would have lied anyways, despite this mountain of evidence that they've confiscated. Mm-hmm. He would have said it's all deep fakes. He would have said, that wasn't me, and this is a setup. Like, they're just gonna lie.
Yeah.
All right. How's my boy J-Rod doing?
I don't know, man. They're probably just watching from above with popcorn in hand, just like, oh, I can't wait for this shit to go down.
Has there been any new developments in the world of aliens that we should know about?
I mean, yeah, actually, since the last time we talked, the Navy has come out and released video of their fighter jets chasing down UFOs. They've changed the policies in which they report the UFOs.
How so?
Now, well, before, from what the pilots were saying, because this was kind of the way they wrote it, it sounded like the pilots were getting pissed off with their sightings not being taken seriously. So it sounds like the Navy's putting more effort into acknowledge and record and track these things and being more open about it. And then at the same time, which is kind of stuff I brought up before, but right around the time when Epstein was going through his thing, and even actually a couple of years prior to that To the Stars Academy was started with Tom DeLonge, and that kind of got shelved. And then now you see that piping up right after Epstein gets arrested, because the UFO card on their side was their last hope to kind of distract from what's going on. And you see that now they're like, oh yeah, we're looking at doing this, we're working with these people, and it's just a crock of shit. Like, the UFO thing's not going to come out until kind of after we deal with our shit. And I really don't think that kind of disclosure is going to come out until the rest of it does. So, like, anything you hear now is, I think, just prepping you for what might be coming. But don't trust that Tom DeLonge, John Podesta shit. Because, again, John Podesta was the campaign chairman for the Clintons. And, well, they're just really close. The Podestas and the Clintons are very close. But John Podesta and Hillary Clinton worked together during her campaign and before.
So you don't think disclosure will happen until we get our shit together, and we obviously
not aliens anyways.
Our shit together. You brought up a good point. You talked about Tom DeLonge, and I was thinking about the podcast that he was on, Joe Rogan, and I know we kind of chatted about it when it first came out. I don't know if Zach, if you've gotten a chance. I think you listened to it.
I listened to part, or actually, I think I listened to most of it, and I think
we talked about it a bit, and it was
just
about how
painful.
It was.
It was very painful.
What are your thoughts on that podcast, Jer, and what he's doing? Because the way I interpreted what you were just saying, like, it almost seemed like there was maybe a little bit of legitimacy to him, but maybe it was, more make-believe. What's his deal?
There is legitimacy, but it's just like, who's it coming from and why? That's like kind of the thing. And he doesn't understand that he's being kind of used as a poster boy. And Stephen Greer's talked about this too, because he's worked with Stephen Greer in the past, and he said, like, he has no idea, or Stephen Greer said in regards to Tom DeLonge, he has no idea what, like, he's working with or who these people are. They're just going to use them. They're not actually going to, like, disclose that much. They'll disclose as little as they can. And Greer also warns that it's just helping set up for this false flag that they have, like this attempted plan to stage it so that it looks like a battle between us and them, and that's not the case at all. It's just, you know, a crock of bullshit and a big distraction. It's not, they're not actually going to give you the truth that I think, well, they're just not, they're going to give you their version of it. Their filtered version.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a carrot on a stick. It's just, yeah.
So,
Lots of people like carrots, unfortunately.
Yeah. Sort of did seem like Tom is just being used for his notoriety, right?
Well, yeah, because if he had any power, he'd have gotten this info a long time ago. They've got the data and they've got all this stuff. All the promises come from the CIA because he's an idiot.
They want to use the snippet of that Blink-182 song where he goes, "Where are you?" and they just send that out into the ethos. They just send it out and they broadcast it over radio waves, and then eventually
is he that influential?
Back.
Like, is he that?
I mean, Dennis Rodman's not.
Dennis Rodman's an alien. We already know that. Have you seen Men in Black?
He does look like an alien. If we're being honest,
he does.
Dennis Rodman.
He was like 10 years in the 20 years in the future.
He was like Space Jam, but in real life. Like, he was one of the Monstars. You know?
He was like Space Jam meets Fifth Element.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. He was very Fifth Element-y.
Speaking of Fifth Element, Chris Tucker also took a trip with Bill Clinton on the Lolita Express, and I think Kevin Spacey too.
Who else do you know that's been famous, or like pretty popular, famous, or important politicians that we would all know that you know of that's on that list?
I mean, you can go and look up the list. We could probably even Google it now and read down it. But aside from Kevin Spacey and like obviously Bill Clinton, Chris Tucker, I don't actually want to name any if I don't have the list in front of me.
That's fair. I can respect that. All right, so let's get back to aliens because this is what I want to hear some more. I'm in a mood for some aliens. So the Navy's kind of come out and it seems like they're almost saying, hey, there is something going on, but we're going to try and control the information, which is a good step. Why do you think the half measure? Like, why not? Like, why play this game? Like, we're not stupid people.
I think that's my opinion on it too. Like, I ask the same question. I really don't know. Like, my understanding of it is they're basically going to the pace of the slowest person because they're worried about like how deep the rabbit hole goes. But I really do think they underestimate how adaptable people are to it. And I also think that it should be done quicker. And like you said, just like no half measures with it, because the longer this goes on, the more you're going to see radical things happen, shootings happen. The more this goes on, the more people that are going to be stuck in an opioid crisis, the more people that are going to be stuck into addictions of prescription pills. Like, getting disclosure out isn't just finding out the truth. It's like releasing so much other things that would fix and help so much to humanity.
Do you think that aliens coming forward and saying, yo, we actually exist would really make a difference?
It's not that. I think it's the technology that comes with it. Like again, the aliens thing I think will come way later. And I don't know when way later is, or I don't even know if that is the case. This is just my speculation. I don't really know. But from what I gather, aliens would come way later because we have to we have the technology and everything to kind of fix our shit. And we need to fix our shit first. And that goes like both psychologically, technologically.
So you're saying they're withholding technology because they don't want to admit that aliens are real just yet. But once they do, they have this access to technology that could greatly change their world. But if they're all crazy pedophiles and in a weird sex cult ring, are they really ever going to change anything? Yeah.
Well, they've built this like empire and this alternative empire that we don't even see and acknowledge. And to do that, they had to have people in it. And those people are sick of this shit. And that's where the breakaway happened. And I mean, before I'd mentioned this is like a game of 4D chess. This our table is the last one still going at it. I mean, the other ones above have already been settled on what's going to happen and how this has to go down. The pace is, I mean, you're seeing it unfold right now with Epstein, with the release of the FISA documents coming up, the fact that it was investigated by Barr. And there was a couple articles, two I sent you the other day that showed that threatened that Obama, Clinton, and Obama's cabinet or administration is in risk of treason because of what they did during that FISA warrant abuse.
So you like everything is connected then?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like it's all connected, and how we handle it and how we react from it really dictates on when things go down. The more people that would get involved in whichever way, whether it be like politics or policy or just whatever, like in any way, it would kind of speed it up. But it also is on their end too, to drop more information to kind of wake more people up, because there's still a lot that, you know, a lot of these things, if you told them, they'd just be like, that's insane. But you know, some of this information's been around for a long time, and you're starting to see it unfold, and you're starting to see the cracks and the connections come out.
Are there any Canadian-based theories that I need to know about?
What do you mean base theories?
Well, everything.
Yes.
Like, I will say in air quotes conspiracy theories, like what's considered conspiracy theories, are all like U.S. based. But how come we don't hear about?
They're everywhere.
But how come we don't hear about them?
Well, they're like, I heard one is buried like deep in the woods of BC, and if you look at how much land is untouched in there, and the fact that they don't actually need roads to get in there and do what they do, it's very plausible there is a base in there, and people and hikers have said they've come close to it before. And yeah, I think there are bases everywhere, and their technology is so advanced. If they didn't want you to see it, you would not see it. Like if what they're claiming is true, it would not be difficult for them to have a base in a mountain that you would never even know was there, or any other subterranean base.
This is like an extreme version of humans taking pictures of penguins. That's what I feel like right now.
What do you mean?
Well, they're like here and they're observing, but they're just like chilling and just be like, let's see what these dumb creatures do for hundreds of years.
You mean like aliens?
We go, yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about military bases, but yeah, aliens for sure do that all the time. Like, wouldn't you? Isn't that what we do to nature, like you just said?
I know, that's what I mean, though. I just feel like a stupid penguin now.
Yeah, we're just a bunch of dumb chimps that were genetically engineered.
We're a big science experiment.
Yeah.
What do you? What's your take on the raiding Area 51? The whole thing. Tom
DeLonge bullshit. It's dumb. They're gonna get shot up and die. It's not gonna accomplish anything.
Well, it's over, right? It didn't happen.
Like, no shit.
No, but there was something the other day that I saw cropped up online.
Like, there were a bunch of people that like showed up and partied, but they didn't.
No, well, you're not gonna be able to get in there. I mean,
fucking quitters.
The attention's good. Like, don't get me wrong. The fact that it's seeing people enthusiastic about wanting to know about this and actually willing to go that far out to the desert and do it, that's a good sign. It's just they're misguided. And yeah, at least that's my opinion on it. I would never fucking do it, but to each their own.
Do you think if they all did the Naruto running at the same time, that they would all be able to get past them?
I mean, I would love to see it, and I think it would be great PR for the cause. But no, they would get mutilated and mowed down by an Apache helicopter.
Come on, Jer. You gotta be positive about it, though, dude.
Have faith in the Naruto run.
The Naruto run gives you the power, though.
You see that guy do it in front of the reporter doing the live thing?
I did. It was awesome.
He was like a flash of light.
He was. His form
barely
was amazing.
Saw him at all. Barely saw him at all, dude. Oh, it was brilliant.
Man. People losing. Did you guys hear one of the things that they were calling it the clappening?
The clappening?
Yeah, that everyone wanted to get in there so that they could bang some aliens. Like clap some alien cheeks. So they're calling it the clappening.
What the absolute fuck?
Oh man,
Man, have you
I
not
mean,
seen those
apparently,
memes? They're so good.
apparently that's already happened, right, Jer? We talked about that before, where the aliens picked us up because they're having trouble reproducing or something, right?
That was one theory of like what one like, and there is like a dude out there that did say that he used to have sex with like a half alien hybrid, but there's a lot of crazy ass stories like that. You don't know what to believe.
Fucking,
How
fucking
human-like
sick.
would
That's
that
sexy, dude.
alien have to be?
Well,
Vaguely. Vaguely. I'm thinking. What's the from Guardians of the Galaxy, the one that has the antennas?
Oh, the mantis.
Mantis. I think Mantis is just about as far away as I could, or about as close as I could get. You know, with knowing that it's an alien.
What about
and still feeling like it's a human.
What's the green girl's
Gamora.
name? Gamora.
Gamora. Ooh,
What about Gamora? Like, you're not down with. You need this slightly Asian-looking.
Yeah,
creature?
yeah. That's a fetish thing. That's just a fetish
I
thing.
like
That's
bugs and I like Asians.
That's still pretty humanoid though.
It's true.
Yeah, so I guess they have to be bipedal for you.
Oh yeah, there's definitely no four-legged anythings that I'm gonna bone. That's not something I'm doing.
Like a four-legged Bigfoot. You wouldn't
Gotta be
hit that.
terrified. Have you guys seen? There's a video on social media. It's this girl and she runs around on all fours.
That sounds
Like,
horrifying.
Legitimately, like she looks like a fucking orangutan running. It's insane.
I
Here,
don't
let me
want-
see if I can find it.
I don't want anything to do with that. That sounds horrific.
I saw this
Alright.
one video where this girl learned to run like a pony and was running around doing her own little like show horse route, like herself as a person.
I kind of want to watch that video. I'm not gonna lie.
Go ahead and look it up. Just type in like "girl runs like horse."
Oh, I'll find it.
I wonder if this is the same thing that you're talking about. I don't think so, though. Hold on. I'm going to see if you guys can see this. Video has no sound, so that's good.
You gotta back it up.
Nope, I got to get it
Oh,
forward.
there you go. Yep. All right. Yeah, that's walking is one thing,
Here she
but
comes,
she
watch.
runs.
Here she comes.
Wait, that's not a horse. It looks like a horse. Oh my god, that is. Oh, that gives me shivers.
Oh, we are talking about the same person. Yeah, that's her. Look at her go. Having a
Look
blast.
at her go, dude. Having a grand old time, man.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know the science behind this. Like, is she actually more agile? Did she unlock something, or is this just ridiculous play? Like, is there an actual advantage? Like, all right, that's kind of cool, but I'm pretty sure I could do that running.
I'm just saying, dude, if we're looking at people who could potentially be aliens, we got to look in a few places. We got to look at Dennis Rodman. We got to look at, you know what? I'm going to say it. Scottie Pippen looks sort of like an alien. And then I think that we got to look
Those
at
two could
that.
be alien brothers.
It's true. We got to look at Horse Monkey Lady.
Horse monkey lady. But for real, we got to give Dennis Rodman a little bit more credit. Think about him at the peak of his craziness, how he was dressing, dyeing his hair, piercings, stuff he was wearing. It's
And
everything that's
partying.
cool. It's everything that's cool right now. I'm just saying.
He's ahead of his
He was-
time.
He's
Yeah,
a
he
fucking
was ahead of his
alien.
time.
That's proof. He knew the future.
He's a time traveler, dude.
He also loves hanging out with Kim Jong-un.
Loves him.
Yeah. What do you think is the deal with that?
They're bros. I don't know.
I do want to do a quick shout out for a book. I know you're probably already done the Audible sponsor, and I have not recorded the bit, but you should check out Thank You for My Service, written by Matt Best, former Army Ranger, co-founder of Black Rifle Coffee. Brilliant book. Pretty funny. If you like some military humor and just humor in general, and hearing funny life stories about someone who did, spent, I think he did 5 tours as an Army Ranger and then did some contracting with the CIA, allegedly, because it's been redacted.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. That should be our book of the month.
Okay. So what was that again? One more time.
Thank You for My Service, written by Matt Best, co-authored by Ross Patterson, who was a book of a month that I did a little while back. It was At Night She Cries While He Rides His Steed, the first ever
Yeah,
romance
yeah,
novel
yeah.
for dudes. I don't know if you
Yeah.
gave that one a listen, but it's definitely worthwhile. He helped Matt finish and polish that book up. It's pretty cool. Talks a bit about his it's kind of like almost an autobiography about who he was as a kid, as like kind of a lanky teenager, emo teenager in like a screamo band, and how then he got into the military, came from a military family, and then how he pursued becoming a ranger in special forces, and then how he found himself after he got out of the military, and then how he made his way to the CIA, and then how his business strategy basically, and how Black Rifle has been so successful. It was on New York Times bestseller. It's on a bunch of bestseller lists. So I would say give it a look. That's my Audible pitch for the week. You can cut that out and use it for every episode for the rest of September. I give you permission.
Okay. Perfect. So, guys, again, that's going to be audibletrial.com/jumbled to get your free audiobook. Again, that's Thank You for My Service by Matt Best.
Correct. 1T. M-A-T. Best.
There you go. That's going to be it, guys.
But do you think like there's some kind of weird connection or something going on there? Or are they just like two
Kim Jong-un is a
normal
big...
crazy dudes that are just, happen to be friends?
Kim Jong-un is a big fan of American culture in
Secretly.
general. No, I mean he likes American culture. He hates our government. So he's openly said like he likes like media and stuff that comes from the States.
I like it.
He
but my
likes
people can't
sports.
have it.
He likes sports. Dennis Rodman, a very great defensive basketball player for arguably one of the greatest teams of all time, the Chicago Bulls, and so it sort of makes sense.
It's not the
He's
Vancouver Grizzlies.
he's a pop icon, He's known by mostly everybody, but he's just vague enough where he can travel to North Korea and sort of get away with it,
Do you think the U.S. government's trying to use him to get like information or vice versa? Like what, or is it just a legit bromance that it's just two weird people that that's their jam?
I think it's
feel
the
like
latter.
I feel like Rodman's probably the weird one, honestly.
But if we're
Kim
saying Rodman's an alien, then there's got to be more to it.
I mean, that's true. All I'm saying is Kim Jong-un is just a bad person.
Pretty much.
What if
He's-
one
he's-
day it turns out that Dennis Rodman is a secret assassin? It was like a 10-year plan to befriend him.
He's the Seth Rogen of...
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that movie was great.
That movie
I love
was
that
like the
movie.
secret disclosure of Dennis Rodman's mission.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
Masked
god, what
as
if that
Seth
is?
Rogen.
Jerry, you're onto something here.
You know what, Johnny's been saying? He says it every once in a while. A lot of the things that you're saying that have been happening have come true. So I'm just waiting on Dennis Rodman
The assassin.
to be an assassin on Kim Jong-un.
I hope that's not true. I've always thought he was just a very weird dude, but just did his own thing. I think he was actually
His own
trying
thing is just
to.
murdering people, whatever.
I think he was trying to like build a bridge between I don't know. I think he was trying to do a good thing actually by being friends with him, but who knows?
Yeah,
Man,
I
if you
feel
got
like
an invitation to party with KJ, would you?
No.
Here's my thing, right?
I would.
Here's my thing. No, here's my thing. All right, I get an invitation to party, right? I go over there. I fucking start drinking. I get crazy. I accidentally break something, and then I get thrown in a cell to do hard labor for 14 years before they'll let me out. I'm not going over there, dude.
Well, look what happened
I
to
don't
that
wanna-
Otto dude. He got beaten to the point where he was in a coma, sent back, and
Yeah.
then died here.
Yeah, I don't want to.
well,
I don't want
learn
that to
control
happen,
your liquor, Zach.
dude. It doesn't matter. I could have gone over there, and here's the kind of shady shit that North Korea does. I bet half of these people that steal something, it's like planted or something, just so they can like.
Kill people randomly.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, they're already fucking their populace up over there. What's one more American? What's one more Canadian?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. IJS,
Right.
dude.
So we have to make a decision. Either Dennis Rodman is an alien or he is not an alien.
I'm going to say not.
He looks strange enough where I'm going based on looks. I'm going to say yes, he's an alien. Johnny, what's he? You're the tiebreaker here. He's either an alien or he's not an alien. It all falls on you.
I think he's an alien.
All right.
When you guys say alien, what do you mean by that? Like, do you mean he's an alien dressed up as a human, or is he like, does he have the soul of an alien and he's like, just in a human body?
He's a shapeshifter.
I think he is a conscious, not natural human.
So, like, you think he's manipulating his, like, looks to appear human and just lived out a human life?
I mean, either way, I don't care. I think he knows that he's an alien and he has a motive that we don't know, and he's just doing this whole shtick.
See, I would, if you were going to say pick out people who you thought were aliens, I would say that's what Elon Musk is. Because look what that dude does.
He said he's an alien. He admitted it.
That's true. He did kind of say that on that one.
But he did his own like secret disclosure, sarcastically. But then someday he's gonna come out and be like, "Yo, I told you like 20 years ago."
Look, if that's true, and they both are aliens. Look how the difference of one is a hard partying basketball star covered in tattoos that goes and hangs out with a third world dictator.
Kinds of people.
The other brings Teslas to the world and rockets and.
Dennis Rodman brought a lot of happiness and joy and championship.
He did. I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying it's just interesting how they're so far apart.
Do you think if it turned out that he was an alien, they would put asterisks beside all of those Bulls championships?
Yes. They would, and it would suck, and everybody'd be angry about it.
Oh my God, it's never, because that would fuck Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he would. He would get demoted a lot.
It's never been more important ever to protect an alien than it is to protect Dennis Rodman's identity.
What do you think is a bigger offset or disadvantage? A man that became a transgender and competed in women's sports, or an alien competing in men's sports?
I mean, I
feel like that's
it depends what kind of alien, right? Like if we're talking little shrimpy gray eye, like gray skin, big black bubbly eyes. Whenever I talk about them, I think they're behind me. I would say those things look pretty physically weak. So
yeah,
but what if they're mentally strong and they can just? What if they just can maybe they're
controlling with their brain,
telekinesis,
or maybe they're in an android or a robot like in Men in Black.
Oh, controlling the human body from within inside a. Yeah.
I think we can all come to a simple agreement that male to female transgender person should not compete in women's sports.
It gives them an advantage. I mean, they've got a different skeletal structure. Just skeletal structure. They've got more muscle mass.
Density.
Yeah. So, I mean,
bodies mature at different rates, especially when you're kids.
So you're gonna say it's more off balance for a man to compete in women's sports than an alien?
Well, I'd have to, because we don't know.
There's too much evidence missing.
Yeah. So like if you were like, hey, the alien weighs 250 pounds and is like 6% body fat and is 8 feet tall, it'd be like, ooh, that's probably
that's Dennis Rodman.
All I'm saying, listen, all I'm saying is Dennis Rodman was comparable in height and weight to other NBA players, but he did go by the nickname the Worm, so that might be
he's a little worm inside.
He might be telling us something. But here's what I think. I think Dennis Rodman went home. Have you ever played Pokemon? You know the Pokemon,
Like
the Pokemon,
Pokemon
Ditto. Yeah, or cards or whatever. Mm-hmm. The Pokemon Ditto.
Yeah,
he could transform into. He could transform into pretty much any other Pokemon. It looked derpy, but he'd transform into it. I think that's what he did. He'd come home and he would just dissolve into a puddle of slime, and he'd sleep in a bucket, and then he would just get up the nenext day and go to practice.
Sleep in a bucket?
Yeah.
Not his bathtub. He'd just dump himself in a Home Depot pail?
Yeah, like a 5-gallon bucket or something like that. Maybe a couple
fancy.
All right, well, if he was a bucket of Jello.
Yeah. Yep.
All right,
That's
Jared,
all I'm saying.
What else? What else do you got for us? What are some things you wanna chat about?
What's exciting? Let you guys ask the questions. I'm in the mood of like the way I look at it now is it's time to sit back and watch. That's the way I look at it now. Like it's
so you're kind of in watch mode.
For sure, yeah. Like it's just seeing how this is evolving and just wondering like when's it gonna pop off if it does. Like I mean, pop off isn't like just bombshell.
There's nothing, but you just said it's like forever. So why do you like? Is it so far away that it's not even worth discussing? That it's not going to impact us in our lives? So is it worth putting any thought towards? You can't change it.
No, I think it is worth it's worth putting thought towards if you find it entertaining. Yes, because that's an interest that you can have. But in context to like, is it going to happen? I don't think anyone knows that. I personally do think it's going to happen well within our lifetime. And when I say when it happens, I mean like we're kind of in that time where it could happen next week or it could happen at the end of Trump's next 4 years. Like,
do you think Trump is getting reelected?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure he is. I have a lot of bets on that. Not that I want him to, full disclosure.
Did you hear the American sigh over here?
I'm just making predictions, okay?
I predict I'm going to throw myself off my house.
Well, you know what? A lot of people
it's gonna be the end
the
of
first
Jumbled
time around, and no one did anything. So
Mega 2020.
I'm moving.
You're ruined. That's right. All right. Is Justin Trudeau going to get reelected?
That one's scary, bro. That one's really scary. Because I mean, he could, like, I'm worried he'd rig it or like anything. I just do not trust that greasy, like elitist son of a bitch. He is as globalist as they get. I really want to know.
Aware of some of the crazy shit that's been going on in Canadian politics right now?
I want to know about his fucking old best friend, if that's true that he did get busted for pedophilia or not. I want to know if that's true. Because if that is true, that would be huge. But I mean, at the same time, I don't see how anyone would vote for him after all the shit that's gone on and all the damage he's done to the country. I just can't see it. I mean, you deserve whatever you get if you vote for him.
My prediction is he's going to get back in. Unfortunately.
That scares me. It does really scare me.
Zach, question for you.
Answer.
If it came out that, say, 15 years ago, Donald Trump there was videos or pictures of him in blackface, do you think he should resign, or would you vote for him?
Okay, so say Donald Trump has completely changed his attitude, right? Number one, I wouldn't vote for Donald Trump anyway, just because I don't agree with
that's fair.
Bullshit.
So, tough question. He says. Yeah, hypothetically speaking, what if it wasn't Donald Trump? What if it was? I guess Obama can't do blackface.
I mean, I don't think
Bill Clinton.
I don't.
Democrats aren't having.
I don't think that anybody should do
black. Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't. Okay,
but
Rob
do you think
Schneider.
That should be a career
say Rob Schneider. I love Rob Schneider.
Mm-hmm.
But if he ran for office tomorrow, could I realistically vote for the dude who's acted like several different races of people in movies? He's pretended to be Hawaiian. He's just a regular old white dude, right? He's not.
Hey man,
he's half Filipino.
Oh, that's true. He is half Filipino.
Yeah,
but
so
I mean,
there's like some island culture there. Cut him some slack.
Yeah, but.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you heard, anyways, moral of the story is you heard that there was a bunch of evidence.
Oh, I saw it.
Pictures. Yeah.
And he was posing with a couple, was it Indian
dudes?
guys or?
Yeah, a couple of Sikh dudes. Like,
yeah.
So I mean, what are your thoughts on that as an American and all the crazy race things that are going on? And I mean, I agree with Jared that I think Trudeau is a lot of those things that he said, maybe probably all of them. But, we've had we've had our frustrations with our government on both sides, but it's never been the like crazy scandal like it is up down there for you guys.
It's just been policy, right? It's just been a lot of policy stuff that you've been pissed about.
But recently with all the stuff that's come out around Trudeau and ethics violation, like multiple ethics violations, sexual harassment, groping.
Yeah.
blackface.
I mean, number one, I am in no way advocating for Trudeau at all, because I don't think that's appropriate for anybody to do. But what I will say is there are things that people do in their life every day that they try to get away from, and they try to forget that they did it all. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping, and maybe that's just the eternal optimist in me, is that that's something that he's been running away from for a long time and remorseful for doing. But that being said, I still don't vote for the guy.
So, one of the questions that he got asked,
for somebody else.
Yeah, like directly, was, can you say definitively that you haven't worn blackface in the last 15 years? And he like refused to answer the question. Yeah,
well, and that's an unfortunate thing for somebody who's trying to escape their past. Is that, hey,
but
guess what?
If he like is like, there's proof.
He's
so
full
yeah,
of
we know
shit,
you did
man.
It. So why not
it's
just
all
say,
bullshit.
you know what, this was a thing. I've been better. I haven't done it in the last 5 years. I haven't done it in the last year, and be like, I'm working on it.
He's a bit okay. Like, even if he did that, has a track record of being an absolute hypocrite and using that PC slogan language, whatever you want to call it, as a way to control the narrative and control what people can and can't say. He's full of shit. Like, he's just all the way through full of shit. Like, he's fucking... Like, of course he would dress up and do blackface and wave his arm. He has no regard or respect for anything. He's a trust fund baby. He's like, he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a fuck about Canadians. He doesn't give a fuck about anybody, other than his own shit, his own wealth, his own name, his own family. He's a fucking traitor to the country, and he's a piece of shit hypocrite.
I'm taking you at your word, because I don't know shit, jack
he can go
shit
fuck
about
himself. I fucking
Canadian
hate him.
politics. I don't know anything about Canadian politics. I try to distance myself from American politics, even, because I think it's all a shit show.
That for another 5 years, Zach. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I'm. That's part of the hurling of myself off of my own house.
Hey, man, you better get a passport, then you can just,
I can hurl myself off your house.
Illegally immigrate to Canada.
There you go.
We're letting them all in right now.
You're letting them all in.
Oh, right. Doors are wide open, buddy.
Come on, Zach. Come be a Canadian.
Yeah. All right,
Jared. Give me one more thing. What do you like?
I'll say. Actually, I got one more thing. Q.
Okay.
So
Q. Yes. Talk to me about Q. You had mentioned that before.
Well, okay. So Q hasn't posted since.
Can you give like a summary just for our listeners, like what is Q and what's some of the backstory behind it?
Yeah. So Q started posting. What was his very first message? Oh, actually, I'll pull up the date of his very first message. He posted for the first time ever on October 28th, 2017. And
what did he post?
It says Hillary Clinton will be arrested 7:45 to 8:30 a.m. the morning of October 30th, 2017. And he said HRC extradition already in motion effective yesterday with several countries in case of cross-border run. Passport approved to be flagged effective 10:30 at 12:01 a.m. Expect massive riots organized in defiance and others fleeing to the U.S. to occur.
So he posted all these things and then they didn't come true. So why do we care about him?
Because of the stuff he posted later. It's more the proofs and stuff that came later. And there is a lot of people that do say, like, because they kept following him after, obviously, and there were things that did come true. And I went through that stuff before in an episode with Zach. And the beginning, one of the theories that people have with Q is that what he said was not untrue. It was that people were arrested and that they were replaced. Actually, we'll go into the cloning thing too, might as well. But
ooh, yeah, I want to talk to you about cloning.
Yeah, because we'll go into that next. But anyways, so Q. Anyways, over the course of the time that Q's been posting, and if anyone wants to go and see their posts or see breakdowns of it or see people talk about it, there's plenty of that data so you can fill it in. But he claims to be individuals with Q level clearance in the government, less than 10 people. And POTUS, like the President of the United States, is one of those people. And he is. It is a coordinated effort between military intelligence, the president, and higher than that people. Anyway, so there's a theory with Q. Well, actually, let's start with Q hasn't posted since August 1st, and the reason being, no one really knows why, but 8chan ended up getting taken down, but after August 1st, and they were associated with a shooting. Like there was a person who had a Q sticker on the gun, and as you know, there's been a lot of shootings in the U.S. and it's been really bad, and it's a terrible thing. And
Yep.
one of the things I did say earlier is that these attacks were going to continue. They'll always try to blame someone of what they're guilty of. So I obviously think that the person was a patsy, most likely. I can't prove it, but it just follows the trend of what you've been seeing with this excessive shootings over the last few years. And what I'd said earlier in previous podcasts about how they do have ways and technology of doing this, according to what a lot of whistleblowers have said. Anyway, so 8chan went down voluntarily because of this shooting and being associated with it. They weren't taken down. They voluntarily went down. But because of that, people haven't been able to talk to Q. So there has been no connection with him since August 1st because of that. Yeah, so that is kind of the update on Q. But the last post that he put was C before D, Coates before D class. The month of August is traditionally very hot. You have more than you know, Q. So Coates was removed. That did happen. And then now people are waiting for D class, which I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago they put out that the FISA information has gone through Attorney General William Barr. It has been reviewed by the department, and they are getting ready to possibly issue all the data for people to see and for it to be disclosed. Whether that means the full D class of what they're talking about or not, that's what I assume, because that again starts it just like Epstein. It just opens up this Pandora's box of people connected to this crime, like to this attempted coup against a duly elected president. It does, yeah. It all reaches back to the same spot. And he had said this was going to happen before. So again, it's like I do believe that Q is real despite the first early posts. I do think that Q is someone associated with Trump and also military intelligence. I don't know how that's going to evolve or how that's going to play out as time goes. The media refuses, despite all the slander against him. The media has never directly asked him under any of the conferences, like, is Q real? Although I did hear a rumor or read something where someone did ask him once off camera, and he said, when you find out who that is, let me know. And with it, just smiled about it. So it's, you know what I mean?
Interesting. So What did you want to say about clones? Because I have a philosophical question about it. But I want to hear what you wanted to talk about first.
Well, clones I didn't really mention much before, aside from a little bit. But clones is if what they're all saying is true, like all the whistleblowers and all this bullshit that, you know, all this stuff that even the crazy people say is that cloning, they've been able to do it for a long time. And there's have you guys ever watched that movie, They're Among Us, or They Walk Among Us? That one with Roddy Piper, or
I don't think I've seen
Pippin? Did I fuck the name up, John, the wrestler?
No, it's Piper.
Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
So
I have not seen it.
That you should watch it. It's actually a really good movie. It's for an old classic movie. It's pretty good. In that movie, he basically finds out that all these aliens or like beings are controlling the world or whatever, and they end up in the end. Spoiler alert! They find a way to expose them all. And then everyone's just shocked. And that's what I feel like it's going to be like when it comes to cloning, because I feel like they've replaced a lot of key people, including like Joe Biden and that shit, possibly with clones. If what that they're saying with that technology is true, and you look at the bloody eye pictures that have been showing up with him, a lot of the whistleblowers have said one of the ways that they input the information is through the eye. Like, because he's basically not even Joe Biden anymore. He's like an autonomous android that they have the capability of building for the purpose of just keeping going this charade. Like, they're so desperate, and you've seen how Hollywood is tanking. All these things are tanking. All their propaganda arms, all their agents are just fucking tanking right now. But a lot of them aren't even them. They've all been replaced is what they're saying. Like, and that's going to be a thing where it's right now it's really far. It's like, oh, okay, come on. You got to get shitting me here. Like cloning. But that's one of the, I think, fucked up things that is going to come out eventually, that is going to be one of the more disturbing things, because it has a lot of weird implications to it. Like, are they human? Do they have a soul? Do we have a soul? Like, there's all these weird. Do they have? Yeah. Do they have rights? Do they like it? It makes it very weird. Of like, how do you approach and treat this technology if we are ever given it, and how have they been abusing it if this is real? Like, if they actually do have the technology to do this, which is not unrealistic when you look at they were able to clone a sheep in the 80s. And there's a company in Canada called Clonaid that you can go and look up right now, and they have information on talking about human cloning.
Would you clone your dog?
I've thought about that, and I don't think so.
Yeah. Would you get a clone of yourself as just organ, like insurance?
As long as it had like no way of having like a soul or any brain function or like anything like that, if it was just harvested for organs for your own whatever.
Well, we have
no
proof of the soul, like definitive proof. I will say it's not universally accepted that we have souls. So, but what if like tomorrow you wake up and
it can't have consciousnesses? Then I'll clarify with that. Yeah, no consciousness.
Okay. So if it's a slab of meat, but do you think you have a right to that because it's your DNA?
You own your DNA.
Is that just like that's my bucket of spare parts and it's my heart? I just happen to have two hearts and one's in a container.
Under this current,
it looks like me.
Under this current world and administration, no, because I would not want them to have my DNA because I do not trust what they would do with it or how they would handle it or any of that stuff.
Well, I can give them some of your DNA.
Yeah, you probably could. But if it was like a whole, like we got all this technology, whatever, and it's all on the table, then yeah, as long as I'm assuming if we have it and we're using it in that manner, that's a medical, like that's a manner that has purpose towards betterment of humanity, not just cloning shit to manipulate people and to have it say exactly what you wanted it to say for your global agenda.
Have you seen the movie Multiplicity?
Yeah.
Feel like I have.
Who's the actor in that again?
The guy who played Batman, Michael Keaton.
Yes, I have. Yeah,
would you straight up like he clones a bunch of themselves and then they just start doing all his tasks for him?
Yeah,
but then one goes bad. I think I can't remember. Tries to be him.
That's what because that's what would happen. And then like,
could you imagine though, just sending this is my electrician Jer, and then this is my, World of Warcraft Jer that's gonna level my character, and then, I just fucking chill. But then you have 3 mouths to feed, so like it doesn't quite work out. So then you're looking at, exponential growth of how many people do I need, how many versions of me do I need working to sustain my comfort and all of theirs.
And why would they do it? Like that's the thing. They'll
turn
on
the
you.
Piece.
And no, the answer is no.
But you're like their god, though. You gave them life.
I don't think they're gonna give a shit. I wouldn't.
Well, yeah. Are you a clone?
I'd hope not. I really hope not.
What would you do if you found out that you were a clone?
Oh man, that'd be terrible.
Why?
Can you imagine? Because it just would. You're not the original. Like you don't. That's not your family. That's not your friends. I would say so. Yeah.
Your friends are still your friends. Does it matter?
Not if you're the clone. Yeah, but it's not technically
you and I wouldn't be friends if. Yeah, you and you're a separate entity. Do you have your own consciousness? You just said before that like the distinction for you was if it had a consciousness. So if you had a consciousness, then our relationship exists regardless of if you came out of a pee hole or you came out of a test tube. Like,
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I think you're forgetting that like as the clone, they may not feel that way. Like if there's
but I'm
two
saying
of
you right now are a clone.
Yeah, how
you find out that you are the second generation.
Oh, and like my original's dead. We don't exist in the same space. Is that what you're saying? Oh, well then, I mean, yeah, of course I just keep living my life. What the fuck? What else would I do that's different? But if we were living in the same space, that's different.
Still a thing.
Then it would be weird. Because you can't both live the same life.
Or can you? You never seen The Parent Trap? You never watched The Parent Trap?
I wouldn't want to.
All right.
I mean, to each their own. I wouldn't want to.
It's fair.
All right, closing remarks. We're going to wrap this one up. My brain is frazzled. But I'm going to re-listen to this episode, and I want to have you back on, Jared, because it's always enjoyable. And today was pretty informative, a little bit creepy. Obviously a common denominator, and all we can do, like Jared, is research if we're interested, and or wait and see what happens. And I am enjoying the shit show that's unraveling, and as Zach mentioned earlier, I had said when you started going kind of down this rabbit hole a few years ago that I thought you were maybe going crazy on me, but numerous of the things that you've mentioned that I thought were crazy are now becoming true, and I'm terrified for this planet, but YOLO.
I mean, we'll never know what's true and untrue until it all comes out, so there's no point in worrying. Just enjoy life.
Writing that down. Terrified for this planet, but YOLO. Anyway, Zach, wrap this up. Jared, thank you again for coming on. If you have any last thoughts, actually, or last comments before Zach does the outro.
YOLO.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're all on the same page. Thanks a lot for listening, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, and if you didn't, I don't care. Go over to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating, because I'm asking you as a man to do that for me, please. And I'm coming to you as a man, all right? And this is what men do, all right? Yeah. If you want to send us any emails, do so by emailing jumbledpodcast@gmail.com or johnny.jumbled@gmail.com. Find us on all social media at Jumbled Podcast. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. Head over to patreon.com/jumbled. Pay $500 and get us in a motherfucking dress, for the love of God, so I can stop saying it.
Zach keeps buying dresses and sending me pictures, just waiting for this to happen. So.
I've got a good amount of options. That's all I'm saying. It's good to have options.
Practice
let's
the
see
tuck.
here.
He's mastered the tuck.
Exactly. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, tell your grandmothers about the podcast. Spread the word, and we appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next week for another episode of Jumbled, your favorite podcast.
On the Vegas odds of who's who as an alien.
Dennis Rodman.
100%.
See you guys next week.